Footy is back. That's right. G'day. I'm Adelaide Crows legend Mark Rashuda. No, I'm not. I didn't play over 300 games in the city of churches. I'm actually just Jaymz Clements, some dude who's actually in, wait for it fellas, Adelaide.
Hey, so can we just stay clear of calling it Adelaide in the city of churches, please?
No, not sorry. I'll tell you that much. I am Jaymz Clements. I'm the host of the AFL Today show. These dingo either side of me, it's a weird position to be in today. We've got Alex Donnelly over there, all kitted out in his Swans gear. What's going on, Alex?
Tell you what, I enjoyed seeing Charlie Curnow at the airport in the Carlton version of this. A man of style is Charlie Curnow.
It was very cool. And the stats guy. What's going on, stats boy?
I'm glad I've got the North scarf on. We also got given some Carlton scarves on the plane. I was ready to burn that one, so I'm happy I've got my one on ready for Adelaide.
That is an affront to my religion and my...
I was going to say, is that a hate crime?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. Stats boy out here causing hate crimes. But it was cool. We got the plane over with the hashtag flaggers, which was fun.
It was the footy flight.
It was the footy flight.
It was the pilot, I think.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure Kuda did fly the plane. If you ask me, a child of the 90s who grew up loving my beloved Carlton Blues, obviously, Kuda is a god.
You would trust him to...
I would trust him to fly a plane. Anyway, this is the Gather Round episode, the big preview here of the AFL Today show, where we're going to go through all of these games, give our picks, give our thoughts, give our vibes. And I'll tell you what, the vibes are high.
Vibes are very high.
In Adelaide. You can't drink the water, but you can get high on the vibes. It's great. I'll tell you. But before we do that, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of the podcast apps that you use out there. There's so many of them.
There's a lot.
Subscribe, like, star it, comment. So, geez, I can't believe you're a Kangas fan still, stats boy.
I think Apple Podcasts is the only one you can leave the comments, so please do that.
Yeah, sure. Nice one. And get around all the socials. You can see all the social gear for AFL Today on Facebook through Sports Today.
Sports Today show.
Yes. There you go. But you can see all the other stuff everywhere else as you usually would. Right, before we get into it, the news. Outside of game previews at Norwood, speaking of Adelaide, they want to get into the action as the 20th AFL club stats guy.
Yeah, that surprised me a little bit. There's obviously some bigger places than Norwood. Obviously, a few people around here might
Have you been to Norwood yet?
I haven't. But I just know for a fact that I believe there's a few other clubs put their hand up over Norwood. What do you reckon?
Well, apparently they've got the biggest sponsorship base of any SA NFL team, so that's a good start. And they reckon that they'd get 20 to 30,000 members straight away locked in, so it's a good start.
Anything about
They have money. It's these ones, Jim.
They do have money. They get a bit decent crowds in the stand.
They have the biggest crowds.
Like compared to VFL and things like that. So that does help them. But I'd rather like a Northern Territory.
No, wouldn't work. No, wouldn't work.
I think we were talking on the Uber on the way here, Jim, on the red dust of the Northern Territory. Play a few games on there, bare feet even. I love it.
I love that idea too. Alex just hates the Northern Territory.
Whoa, I love Darwin, thank you. Darwin Cup every year for my birthday. It's a great time.
I love Brekkie Luxor. That's what I'm all about. All about it. Stats guy's got no clue what I'm talking about. Brekkie Luxor.
He's just laughing.
I think it'd be great to have it in the Northern Territory. But if we're going to put a third one, actually I'm here for it if you're going to put it in SA. But you know where I'd rather? Seattle.
Oh, wait, what?
We're expanding our states. Mexico City.
They already made that, Jim.
You know who loves their footy? Mexico. Boom. To be honest, I reckon we go overseas. I reckon Northern Territory.
No, it didn't work.
Don't worry about the Kiwis. We go
Fiji.
to China, Taiwan.
China didn't work.
We'll go to Japan. Go to India.
Vietnam.
Go to South Africa.
Well, and for Europe is...
But to be honest, I feel like you would just go straight up into Asia, right? Because that way we keep our the timestamps.
Yeah.
You need to keep them in the same time zone.
Ireland. That would be pretty cool. Dominant.
And you know how much I'm all about just feed me footy.
Yeah.
Feed me footy. Jim, footy. Oh, there we go. Give me the footy.
Homer in the donut seat.
Homer in the donuts. How about... So that problem is that it would have to be in New Zealand, wouldn't it? Because I just want back.
So you need
footy over the week.
So you need a team in New Zealand and Japan.
I need it earlier, so it's New Zealand and Japan, so they can play games.
Counterpoint. You move to Western Australia.
I don't want to do that. I'm not South Africa.
Or English.
All right, let's do some game previews. Tonight we have the opening game of the Gather Round. We covered this on yesterday's show pretty briefly. The over-under 166.5 between the Adelaide Crows and the Melbourne Demons. The line for this has sort of been buffeted around. I've seen it at 9.5, 7.5. But what have we got listed there? 7.5. So
Before 7.5, yeah.
It's an interesting setup. How are we feeling about this with a day sort of to sit? I think I'm actually going harder in on Melbourne.
Yeah.
Now that I've looked at this. Okay. I think the Crows have made a raft of changes. The fan favourite is out, stats guy, Lukey Pedler.
Lukey Pedler,
I told you he sucks.
But after his performance last week and the week before, he deserves to be out. He was horrible. He was kicking us the opposition every single time.
So they bring back Butts, Patrick Parnell, Brandon Cook, Sam Berry, and Luke Nankervis. They get rid of Bolazzi.
Yeah, Balanza. I
love it. Scholl, Murphy, Lukey Pedler.
Luke, in, out to start the season.
Well, he's had his chances.
But he's been playing okay.
Hasn't taken his chances.
And obviously Wayne Miller is injured, done for the season with a knee injury.
Yeah, not great.
But Stephen May is in.
Cooled it out.
Has better ribs than our producer, Homie, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean,
Homie could play for Melbourne.
Homie witzes and cries when he moves. Stephen May's like, give me the footy.
Yeah.
I'm going to punch up with a teammate and then just play some footy.
Yeah.
I love it. But I still think Crows go 0-4. Demons moves to 4.
How the vibe's going to be around here tomorrow morning if Adelaide's 0-4.
Tomorrow morning? Tonight.
Yeah.
Fights.
Stats guy will have a microphone outside the Adelaide Oval at approximately 10 p.m. Check out TikTok.
Dressed up as Matty Nix.
Potentially a goalpost.
I'm actually bumping out my prediction from yesterday. It was 12 points. Now going to be 26.
Yep.
Maybe more. I can even go to 30.
I'm sticking with 5 goals.
Oh, that's
I was 5 goals yesterday.
okay. Say 26. No, I don't want to be the same as Alex. Look at his mustache. Stats guy, you sticking with yours?
Yeah, 23 I said yesterday. It just seems about right. I think Adelaide will be fired up first half. Melbourne will just sneak away in the second half. And 23 points seems about right.
Cool.
And 5 goals still, yeah.
Yeah, 5 goals. Yeah.
There you go. It's going to be a fascinating game to open Gather Round. Cannot wait. You just, look at all the chaos stuff there across the road from the Adelaide Oval. It's beautiful. It's looking awesome. So people are going to go crazy. And they go crazier when they get smashed.
Speaking of smashings,
Brisbane, North Melbourne, Friday afternoon out at Norwood. We just spoke about Norwood. This one's at 4:40. Is that local time?
yeah, local.
Time for us, so it's 5:10.
5:10 everywhere else. That's weird. Cool. Are we? Yeah, cool.
Oh, not everybody knows.
Stats guy's having issues because his computer hasn't changed times and he's just like, what is happening?
He was doing surfer work on the carpet just before.
Let's get it. Steps up.
Brisbane have 37-point favourites in this one. 36.5 points. It feels low. We talked about this the other day, right?
Yeah.
It was even a bit skinny. We hit this, I think, on the NARS episode yesterday, right?
Yep.
You could have gone, but
Nah.
thanks, Dingus's Jackson killing me.
I said
Yeah, Jim. But Stats Boys thing here is that it's going to be the highest scoring game of the round, right?
I disagree.
Not everyone agrees on that. I do think so. North conceding 120 points a game, worst defense in the comp, which is horrible. Which you got 2 really big defenders, and then Brisbane obviously put 150 points on us last year. So I reckon it could be like 140 to 100 even. That's the way North have been kicking over 80 points or most games so far. So I think it's going to be really, really high scoring.
180.5. Don't mind that. Look, North, they're fun, but they're still bad. So
Yeah.
I know. My only problem is I think this is a smashing. I'm sorry, Stats Boy.
That's okay.
Because as I said earlier this week, right, the entire Clarko vibe, I just want to see some respectful losses. I don't think we get one here.
Okay.
I think it's an absolute whooping. They just whoop them like I'm whooping cupcakes at a wall. What you doing?
Hockham cupcakes.
So my point is that Brisbane beat them by 75 last year and 108 the year before.
Oh,
This is a neutral venue, but at the same time,
they played them at Adelaide Hills last year. Now it's at Norwood.
We're known for being really bad at the Adelaide Hills. Norwood,
They're slowly edging closer towards the city.
yeah.
So maybe North next year might get to play the Adelaide Oval.
but these two teams are both winless.
Yep.
I feel like it's Brisbane who gets on the board. Sorry, Stats guy. So I've actually bumped up my vibe with this. Brisbane 46.
Yep.
I think just the inexorable inevitability, to use a couple of really good big words, of the Brisbane offense really comes home to roost against a very bad, same as we saw last week, right? With Kerno and Mackay just running rings around the North defense.
Yep.
With Chucky Cameron, with Hipwood being under fire, Joey Duckett's out there being very bad so far. I think they smash them, Alex.
Brisbane by 4 goals. The way their forward line's been going, just not happy with how they've been going. At least North Melbourne will be able to score, but their defence is so bad that Brisbane will eventually kick a few goals and sort of kick away. It's one of those games well, that was fun to watch, but North were never going to win that.
Yeah. I agree.
Stats guy?
I'll agree with those vibes. I know that
Like 104 to 80 or something.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
they have the
we had
ability
fun.
of kicking a massive score. And I do think it'll be a fun game just because it's going to be very end-to-end. But they haven't been kicking big scores. You got Charlie Cameron. Hipwood has been horrible. Cameron has been horrible.
Yeah.
Very off.
Like, I know how you talked about how North Melbourne so far are the worst defensive team in the league, but you've got to look at who you've played. You haven't had the best start of the year.
And
Carlton.
But you got 2 at the propping.
Yeah.
There's 3 undefeated teams there. So I still think Lions by 35, but I think it will be probably 2.5 quarters where North are in it. Still got Sheasel and a few other guys that are going to be decent ball movers out of defence. But yeah, our defence is going to where it
Stinks.
that's how we're going to lose by 35. Probably.
Harris Andrews versus the Suba.
Yeah.
Team Suva.
Suba will still kick a couple of goals just because, probably 3, I reckon, but he's not going to be off the leash.
I know, because you know what Harris Andrews is going to do?
Clements.
Yeah, just really balls. Yeah.
Love a good bang for Harris Andrews. Love that. All right, Port versus Essendon.
Everyone's just looking at us weirdly in this office too now.
Checks out.
We're not in our usual studio.
We'll just spray paint on the side of the wall. Follow our AFL Today show.
We really should have had that for the TV cameras earlier.
Port Adelaide hosting Essendon at Adelaide over Friday night.
This line is big.
4 goals, 23.5 points. The power of favourites. Both teams 2-1. The over-under is 177.5. So it feels like both teams have
Shootout knives.
ability to score big.
Yeah.
And this is a pretty high over-under, as it would sort of suggest. Considering that both would have to score 90-ish to go over it. The thing is, Port have won the last 7 against the Bomb Rays.
Claw.
That was 7. Last one was by 4 points.
Head down Houston after the siren.
Down Houston
in the rain. Bang.
Game I've been to live in a while.
Is it the best game? Was it the best finish?
Maybe best finish. It wasn't one game though because Port actually come back right at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, Port have had the last 7 times.
And Port at home last year were an absolute just wagon. So
Until GW has belted them in the finals.
So it's going to be a weird one where we look at Port and just go, not entirely sure like how good they are really, but they should still beat us.
Was this us like when we yesterday talked about Port Adelaide hadn't beaten the top 8 team apart from GW since like round 10 last year?
Yeah, but Essendon ninth.
Yeah.
So-
Which is just fun.
So that's going to be fun.
They're going to win.
Exactly. So I think my eventual tip on this one is Port by 4.
Man, we are so close on this.
It's a close one. I think the game is close. I think we're all close on our read of this too. But I think this game is going to be absolutely chaotic. I think when you look at the Bomb Rays as well, you've got a lot of good ball handlers.
Yeah.
But I think their inefficiencies
Yeah.
really hurt them at times, right? And that's going to be the big problem against a team like Port at home who can really punish you on the rebound. I think if they get JHF back as well.
He is back.
He is back.
Yep, they've said he's playing.
They've lost Foley Wine.
But Willem Drew has been absolutely awesome for him. He's just gone really up it. Yeah, it's not strange.
That's the name. That's how you say it.
He's a hard nut as William.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Port have just enough in the tank, and I think we get a thriller. We're going to be at this game as well as tonight's game.
It's going to be rough.
awesome.
Are you going to hold your scarf above your head stats guy before the game so you never tear us apart? Yeah. Nice. That's all right.
Your pick, Alex?
Port by a goal. 6 points. I'm with you on the tight vibes here. Just as much as I hate Essendon, they have been playing well so far this season. They hung around enough last week to get the job done against St Kilda. And I think, again, it's that they hang around, but they don't get to land that killer punch at Adelaide Oval. Like, the crowd will be going off its absolute na-na tomorrow night as well compared to a St Kilda crowd at Marble. So I think the crowd helps.
Stats boy?
I believe we're all 10 points and under. I'm going Port by 10. I think it's going to be really close as well. I really like the midfield battle here, but I think Port have the edge there because their mids can kick goals compared to Merritt.
Yeah,
Martin.
Rosine Butters can kick 2 or 3 edge.
Yeah, they can kick a couple of goals, and I think that'll help them just get over the line. But Essendon have shown really good signs. So
You can almost see Soldo tap down to Rosie, handball to Butters, off to Hornet, bang.
But yeah.
But
I don't want to see James and Francis doing anything good.
yeah, that's going to be the stats guy's going to be in trouble here. He's just like seeing Jason Orr and Francis have 30.
I'll hold up an ice bar. So.
Saturday Gather Round opens up with Sydney.
Yes.
Home, well, playing against West Coast and Adelaide Hills, wine country.
Yep. 45 minutes away.
56.5 points.
Feels low.
The Sydney Swans
Feels really low.
They won by 171 last year.
They hit the over themselves last year when scoring 205, and the over-under is 178.5.
The big question here is obviously, can they top it, the double ton again?
I don't know if topping the double ton again is well, it is possible, but I don't know if they can or will.
Yep.
But I think they were going a lot worse last year than what they are right now. This is that that game that the Swans lost last weekend. It's like, oh, okay, we need to come out and make a statement. It's like, oh no, it's against poor West Coast, who, if Jeremy McGovern or Tom Barras has an issue early, this could be really ugly.
Yeah.
Because they're keeping them in games at the moment, and the teams that West Coast have played can't kick straight or have just sort of stuffed around because it's round 1 and 2.
Oh, but they should get draft compensation.
I'm going to yell about that later.
They were flagged not that long ago.
Yeah.
That's a joke. I reckon, yeah.
I don't think you should get draft compensation for being incompetent on your own.
Yeah.
They've also made, but also if you have a look at their draft picks as well, they've made really bad draft picks that they've let get through. But yeah, the Eagles average 48 points a game this year. That's not ideal coming into this. They're going worse than last year. Their older blokes are playing all right. Like Barras and McGovern have been fantastic.
Midfield hasn't been horrible. I think they beat the Dogs by a fair bit of clearances.
Yeah, but it's the Swans haven't won clearances in any games. It's like we're just going to back out outside running.
Yeah, that was.
So just sit.
Well, the over-under for this one is 178.5.
They're hitting over.
Sydney hit that by themselves, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's at least 180 for Sydney. I think they go massive. They are so much better than they were this time last year. West Coast are not better.
But also think like Errol and Chunley haven't been amazing to start the season. They've got to come good soon. Like bit of touch for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, this could be ugly.
Sydney by 110.
125.
Wait.
I'm going 85. I don't mind the way that the West Coast...
Coward.
It's still a big budget.
So the Swans kicked 130 against Essendon. Do you not think they can kick an extra 6 goals against...
the Dogs win by? Was it
70?
Yeah. I don't know. I just reckon...
And Port won...
They'll put the foot off the gas a little bit in the last...
Oh, this... Nah. This could be horse going. Boys, tins. We got the bye next week. You win by 100, tins.
This is going to be big. So is Fremantle Carlton.
This is the game of the weekend.
Undefeated, both teams.
Massive.
This is the game of the weekend.
Nah, I like Dogs.
I think Dogs still on.
Okay. Oh, we've got the double header, so how good?
Yeah.
Hey, this is the start of the doubleheader at the Adelaide Oval. 8.5 point favourites are the Blues. The over-under is 164.5, which is tough to read.
Freo don't kick massive.
Freo weren't going great guns until
Well, they scored 50 last week.
69, I think.
the last quarter. They put on most of that.
But yeah.
And then prior to that was their game against North, right? So
Yeah.
it's a bit of a hard read, I think, for Freo. Carlton, meanwhile, haven't really... I mean, they beat North and they had the bye.
We just scored 90 against Brisbane. So
It was 86.
Yeah, but it's 90, yeah.
That sort of thing, right? And it's just the offensive firepower for both teams is kind of there.
Yeah.
164.5 is that over-under.
I'm leaving that alone. Just
Probably what I'm saying.
Freo don't have enough.
leave me out of it.
They can get...
Jaymz could pop up and kick 6, though.
Yeah, I don't trust Freo in this one to go.
Nah, he doesn't trust him.
Yeah. I said that.
So I know.
I did not say that.
So these teams played a pretty weird and wonky game last year, right?
Yep.
And it was one where Carlton was sort of like, oh, hang on a second. They're not bad. And they've booted Freo.
Yeah.
Good. And so they sort of snuck it out 98-45. I remember watching this at the
That's
Brunswick,
yuck.
the Railway Hotel in Brunswick. They'd sort of just opened up that on the big screen.
Yeah.
It's like this random sort of afternoon game.
Could have been.
And they sort of just eventually eked out the win.
Yeah.
Sort of then kicked away. And it's like, it was a lot closer than 98-45.
Yeah.
And I got a feeling we'll see pretty similar, and hopefully Carlton can do the exact same thing again.
Do you think also, like, I know coaches and everything, they hate reading into certain things like this and they try to play it down in the media. But this time last year, Carlton came to Adelaide, got smashed, and their season went to absolute crap for 12 weeks.
Yeah.
You lost 9 straight. And then everyone got like nude at Charlie Kerno or Ed Kerno's house, and it was great. There was a bonfire. It was awesome. But do you think
Bird's a pig.
But do you not think they've got it circled and it's like, we need to come here and really go bang and show the competition?
It's a prove-it game.
Yeah.
For both teams, though. That's
This is the test for, and on the flip side, it's a test for Freo to see if is there 3-0 any good?
Like we said the other day, Alex, I think they're nowhere near the top teams.
I laugh.
They've had an easy run so far.
I was laughing going, are they the worst 3-0 side of all time, despite beating the team that played in the grand final last year?
Yeah, quite not. But they did have to, who was North and Adelaide, but were being really bad as well. So
I think you're underselling the simple idea of just the...
Winning games.
No, the idea of being just up and about because they've just shared a plane with us.
the Blues.
They're like, hang on a second, we just shared it.
Tom de Koning, shockingly tall.
It's like, hang on a second. We just jumped on the plane with Jim, Alex, and Stats Boy,
And homie.
and we've got to win for the boys. I'll tell you, that's where they're at.
Yeah.
So I think Carlton by 26 is where I've sort of landed with this, just over 4 goals. Yeah. And we're going to have a heart tracker on me
Yeah, we need to do that.
for Saturday Arvo. And you're going to watch me just put myself in a hospital.
JB half hour around the corner, go get a Garmin. Nice. I'm Carlton by 17 points. So around that 3-goal mark, Harry Mackay, kick straight, gets the job done.
It's going to be interesting. I think I'll talk about this later.
Harry Mackay will sleep well because he bought his own pillow to Adelaide.
That's a bit of inside.
Yeah.
Smart man.
Yeah.
I like that.
Him and Mike Pitmay.
Yeah, but they are. I'm going Blues by 34.
Ooh.
I don't rate Freo at all. I really rate Carlton to be top 4, as I said the last couple of weeks.
How much do you hate your team to hate Freo?
No, I don't hate Freo. I just don't think they're very good. They made North look good for a half, for starters. Carlton as well proved to me last week that they can demolish some of the lower teams. So I think 34 is not out of the...
Cool.
I really wish we had like Sam Walsh.
Yeah.
In this game, like
Cripper, well, we know Cripper's playing.
Just Harold.
Cripper had his baby. Congrats. We heard this on the plane.
Yeah, we got the breaking news.
Cripper told.
Oh, do you reckon he was meant to tell it?
Has that actually been announced officially?
Yeah, and Kuda told people where there was media on the plane. Technically, we're media, so
I was going to say, breaking news. That's great. Congrats, Cripper. He named it after his hero. Me, Jim. Jim Cripps. All right. Bulldogs. James, it's a girl. Doesn't matter.
Jamie.
Bulldogs.
We've got a Jamie Cripps at West Coast.
Oh, yeah.
Bulldogs, Geelong. The Cats are half-point favourites
Wild.
for the doubleheader.
weird, yeah.
The doubleheader at Adelaide Oval. I love this.
I like how they've turned out to be two awesome games.
So, Magic Round, they do everything at Suncorp.
Yep.
Gather Round, it feels like playing 9 games of AFL football
It's impossible.
would be very tough to do it at Adelaide Oval.
We're at the surface.
But also the time. The time.
At a time, yeah.
Oh, no. Back to back, footy.
One day of it, and just 7 a.m. start. North and West.
Yeah, North and West Coast play at 9 a.m. on the Saturday.
Over under 169.5.
Under.
Can you trust the Bulldogs to actually score?
Yeah, I'd go under as well. I think. Yeah.
We can if Jamara Ugle-Hagen decides to lead up the ground instead of towards the pockets. This is my new thing.
You've got a lot of
Fair
seats.
point though, because he always goes to the pocket.
Just lead up the ground, dude. It'll make your goal kicking so much easier.
What are we looking at here then, Stats Guy? What are your biggest points for this?
I had a look at the last meeting, but I didn't take it too seriously because Dogs won the last matchup.
But Dogs had
the end of the season.
No, it was the last round. Dogs had to win to make
They
finals.
had to win, but Geelong rested a lot of their players and they didn't really care about that game. But
There's 3 blokes retiring, so they were trying.
it isn't hard to win. Sorry, it isn't easy to win in Geelong. So they won there, which is pretty good. I think massive amounts of experience and class in that Bulldogs midfield. English has to play against Conway, who's only his third.
I thought they might rest Conway, I read.
He was awesome.
Because apparently they're trying to manage him through, so they think he's got so much ability, they may not want to give him a 5-day backup.
Possibly. If he plays, I think English is going to have an absolute field day, so that'll help the Bulldogs. That's leaning towards my tip as well. So, but Geelong are really good. Actually, that's the one thing I wanted to say. At the Adelaide Oval, 53%, which is the third best outside of the home clubs.
I mean, they beat West Coast here last year. Does it count?
Yeah, that goes in there, but they've beaten Adelaide a fair few times here as well. So
They do travel okay. It's just west of Melbourne, they're laughing.
I'm leaning towards the Dogs. I'm leaning towards the Dogs. Yeah, compared to I think most people would be leaning towards Geelong.
Geelong
They look back, Geelong.
by a couple of kicks, 11 points.
I've got mine. I had 11. I'm going to go 12.
Yeah.
Nearest to the pin.
Yeah.
His
price is right, isn't he?
What I'm looking at for this is who's playing better. And like we've got the Dogs who have beaten the Suns and the Eagles.
Yeah, that's not amazing.
Ballarat as well.
Ballarat, and then at home, Marble for West Coast, who you can't really read too much in, whereas Geelong just dominated Hawthorn.
They had a bad 20 minutes, another they killed them.
Beat the Crows in very, very clear fashion here in Adelaide 2-3 weeks ago.
Yep.
And I feel
Beat some Kilda and
Geelong are just playing better footy.
Yep.
I don't want to take it. I think I think we talked this out on the Nars yesterday, but I feel like I like the Dogs midfield more, but I just think Geelong has got more depth across the field, and I just trust it a bit more. So
yeah,
there you go.
I'm going the Dogs. I can't believe I'm saying that because I don't usually trust the Dogs, as Alex likes to hate on them. I'm going to go them by.
I'm a hater though. So.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not
hater, idiot, it all works.
I'm going Dogs by 6. I think the midfield's going to take over. There's even guys like their forward line starting to look a little bit better. I know it was against West Coast. The Sun they did smash is starting to look a little bit.
Yeah, don't believe it.
Hoping Rory Lobb isn't playing because I might change my tip.
I want him to just for more TikToks.
Because I think the way they have it now, Sam Darcy's starting to look a bit better. You got Jamara's looking a little bit better.
Western Bulldogs would win this game if it was a marvel.
Yeah,
Geelong because it's at Adelaide will win this.
I'm just leaning towards the Dogs, but even I can't believe I'm saying that.
Sunday, we're going to the Adelaide Hills again to play Suns Giants.
What is it with the Sydney teams getting put out in the hills? This is a joke, honestly.
You're all bad. No one likes you.
Do we have bad vibes? Fair.
Adelaide Hills noon. The over-under is 169.5, and the Giants. It's a big sound. What is it? 18.5 points.
Yeah.
That line.
Yep.
That is a fair line, I think.
But they shoot. It's not a huge.
No, I think it's fair because you look at the Giants and look what they've done so far. The Suns have been threatening, but can they play as of...
Well, the Suns have...
I keep banging on about this. Take Dimmer and the Suns outside of the Sunshine State. They're cooked, mate.
Cool. But what are you playing him in the Adelaide Hills and the Sun's out?
Oh, no. Just got too many wine vapours floating around.
Well, they're playing the three
They play like a bunch of drunk mums as well. Sometimes the Suns, bit of white wine, bit of shardy mums. I love this.
Never heard that.
Wouldn't they be drinking seltzers on the Gold Coast, low carb?
No, we're talking about their wags, the wines. They're the white.
They'd also be drinking seltzers.
Maybe.
They're all Instagram influencers, 100% on the seltzers.
We will take any and all seltzer sponsorship opportunities.
Please.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The Giants are awesome. The over-under is under 69.5. Again, this is a funky, weird one. I think I'm much more likely to go over this because I think both teams can post scores.
Yep.
And it could really open up this game.
Exciting offense.
Because I think Giants are really good.
McAllion back for Gold Coast, which is good.
I like watching him, yeah.
You've got really, really, really good midfields, obviously, going hammer and tongs. What did we do the other day? Just name dudes.
Yeah.
That was great.
You guys said GWS had it better midfield, but I went Gold Coast.
I named Gold Coast midfield, and we did, GWS midfield. Also, Toby Green hasn't done much this year. Toby's just going to go, hi guys, I'm sick. 6 goals. Boom.
Yeah. It's not a bad week to do that.
Yeah.
They've won 11 of the last 12 ahead of the Giants.
Jesus.
2 expansion clubs.
Yes.
The expansion cup.
I like it. Tom Green, captain him.
Yeah, you could captain.
Projected 161. Just saying. It's a pretty big...
I think he ripped off at 200 against them recently.
He's averaging 204 touches, 8 clearances, 7 tackles. So
Against Gold Coast.
no, this is just this season so
general.
far. Yeah, so
Awesome.
he's a beast.
He was my early Brownlow pick.
Alex is
He's a meaty boy.
Nice one.
GWS by 5 goals. 33 points.
Nice. I've got GWS by 8. I think this is an absolute rip snort.
Really?
I think it could be decent.
I think Gold Coast put up a good fight.
Cool.
GWS by 18. Same sort of thoughts as Jim. They'll pull away at the end. They got too good of a ball.
Nice.
Sunday afternoon. Well, that was also still technically afternoon, but it's noon here. This one's out at Norwood. We'll be at this one too. Richmond, St Kilda.
Yes.
Why are you doing this to us? St Kilda.
No, but Saints have been fun. Other than last week.
Did you say funnerer?
Yeah. No. They've been more funnerer than usual.
I love it. Keep using his stats, boy. It's great.
That's what you can ask on the TikToks. Who's more funnerer?
Who's more fun?
That's what the squids do. They're just like, squid number 1 will just be out there going, Dad, is this funner than the other fun thing that we're doing? I'm like, to be honest, yes. Not bad. 165.5. It feels like this is going I'd be under.
Yeah, both really. Yeah,
I think Saints kill them though. I hate this idea for Richmond. I think with the outs they're going to cop.
They have got
I'm just going to
Lynch, Bolter, Baker, Biggin Lewis.
pack her up.
St Kilda are the banker of the weekend.
Yeah, I think Saints win it pretty handily by about, I want to say 36.
Okay.
And I think.
Same as last year.
Oh, really?
Yes. They won by 36 last year.
Yeah, good job, stats guy. That's why you're called the stats guy.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Saints, Max King back.
Yep. Big in. Huge in.
The Tigers,
Riley Bonner won't turn it over 17 times.
Well, you'd bloody hope so.
but I just don't know if the Tigers have it in them to come out here. They lost a pretty tough one last year to Sydney, didn't they?
No, they got smashed. 50 points.
Who did?
Richmond.
Yes.
Yeah, Swans belted them.
Yeah,
That's what I said. He said it was
I thought he said Thailand. Yeah.
I think the Saints kill Richmond as well.
Yep.
36 points. That's
Cool.
my pick. Alex?
I'm Saints 15 just because it's St Kilda. They'll never look like losing. They'll just hold a margin all day.
Nice. Stats guy?
Saints by 23. I don't mind the pressure of Richmond, forward half pressure that they showed, especially the last couple of weeks, but yeah, massive out.
We're going to have a lot of tight games and a couple of blowouts.
Yep.
That's good wicket.
Nice one. Then finally, finishing off with the Ginnivan Cup. You can see him all around Adelaide all weekend getting headhunted. 25.5 point favourites of the Pies against the Hawks. Adelaide Oval, 440 to close out Gather Round. Over-under is 170. 170 feels a bit optimistic. I don't know if the Hawks can score that much, and the Pies defence, if they want to make a statement, they have to give me the
Can the
clamps.
Pies forward line do it as well?
That's it. So I'm going to probably go the under with that. I think the Pies win it.
Yeah.
But this is... All eyes will be on Ginnivan.
Hawthorn have a ridiculously good record against Collingwood.
Well,
It's like 15 of the last 18 or something.
32 they won by last year, which is crazy to think about. That was when Collingwood had a bit of a blip, jumped off the top of the ladder.
Yeah, a smart blip.
Crazy. Yeah.
You don't want to play your best footy before September, stats guy.
Shouldn't try to play best all the time.
Really?
Maybe North Melbourne should try that.
You should take over Clarko's job, I reckon.
Boys, just go out and play your best footy.
But the Pies, look, the big questions were sort of answered a little bit last week by running over the top of Brisbane.
Yep.
At the Gabatoir.
Can Lockie Schultz get 2 kicks and a half?
This is going to be tricky. We'll see.
Nah, he surely gets. Sure.
But
Just
the
send
Hawks,
Sid McGuinness to him for the lols.
the Hawks backline being this just demolish-rated.
Yeah.
Them not being able to post score.
Mitch Lewis also did his hammy.
Yep.
So I think this is going to be a Collingwood romper. I think the Hawks sort of give them a scare early, and the Pies sort of run over them in the second half, win by, I think they're up by about 5 goals, give up 2 late, win by 18.
Yeah.
That seems short.
I think this is the gross game to watch of the weekend. Like, the contest is great. There's not a lot of scoring. Collingwood win by 13 points.
Well, it was Collingwood St Kilda last year, right? It was the last game where we Gather Round. I think we see it's pretty weird.
Didn't it Pizzle down there?
It wasn't Hawthorn Hawthorn Gold Coast was also like a crazy right at the end.
No, it was Hawthorn GWS. Harry Himmelberg took the mark of the century.
Yeah, so I think both of these two teams just play weird games and gather around.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be
I like it how we're basing this off one game.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll get to this in 1 second when we talk about keep an eye on. But that is like something you have to sort of vaguely take into a factor. Like, neither team is at home. Game. So the track record is very strange. So, like, if this was the MCG, I'm like Collingwood by 45 at least.
Yeah.
But we're on Adelaide Oval. What are the dimensions of the Adelaide Oval?
Small, bigger than the SCG.
Yeah.
He's got one job. Then here we are.
I'm going,
He's actually, I've got 70 jobs, Jim.
Check that hold on ticket. Doncaster preview out now.
You have to talk about horses as well. But I'm going to go, as I said, Pies by 18.
Yeah.
I think it's like a weird, funky game that sort of gets turned on its head in a way.
Okay.
Alex?
As I said, Collingwood by 13 points. I just think this is like a 73 to 60 game. It's just like, what a bitter taste to end the weekend on.
Stats boy?
I'm going Pies by 30. They've got the best win percentage of any team ever at the Adelaide Oval, 68% or 67 point something percent. So they played really well in Adelaide.
Are they wearing the prison butts?
I'm not sure. That would be hilarious if they did. But I think they're way too good for the Hawks. I don't know. I think you guys have got a bit too low there. I don't think the Hawks can stay with it.
That's fine.
The Pies and their prison bars stolen
That
valor.
would be hilarious if they were that.
All right, big call for the weekend ahead then.
Yep.
We have not really differed on our picks this week. That is
Not really.
Dogs. You guys, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
Ugh,
No, we're all the same.
that's gross. We're definitely going to be 8 of 8. 9 of 9?
9 of 9.
Well, you guys will be 8 of 9 when I get dogs right.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, good.
Big call for the weekend ahead. Melbourne smash Adelaide tonight, and louder questions are asked about the vets. Like Dawson, Laird and co. I think
Dawson's not a veteran.
No. Well, he's like
25.
Is he? Laird, the big names. But I think it's more like the types of Laird and Walker and like, what are you doing?
So,
Walker,
the champion data have Dawson ranked as the worst kick so far this season.
a couple of years he was like the best as well.
It's also the fact that he's in the midfield, he's kicking it to a forward line, he's doing nothing for him, and he's rushed at the moment. So he's still an awesome kick.
Stats guy?
I reckon Dogs beat the Cats. Obviously, it's a pretty big call in itself. I reckon Sam Darcy to have a breakout game, 4+ goals. I think the Cats don't have a third option that's going to be on Sam Darcy if he's down the forward line. Jamara might play all right, but if it's like Sam DeConing, for example, he's been really off the last couple of years, so I don't trust him on Sam Darcy. I reckon he could get
Trust him.
Yeah, so he was when they won the flag, he was amazing.
So he's been bad for 1 year.
And then last year, the start of this year. That's 2 years. That's after. 4+ goals for Sam Darcy. Dogs win.
Yep.
Might be cool.
Alex?
Hawthorn lead Collingwood at halftime. Gideon has 3 goals because Braden Maynard's decided to snipe.
Nice. That'll be good fun if Gideon's up on 3 goals very early.
Collingwood fans have already started complaining on the internet. I really hope he gets 2 free kicks in the first 10 minutes.
We'll be able to hear the roar from that one at the pub.
As Jim said, could power Victoria that anger.
I like it. Keep an eye on. What are we keeping an eye on for this gather round? My biggest thing is, from a meta point of view for the rest of the season.
Okay.
Not only how great gather round is, because already the vibes are huge, it's awesome. But which teams aren't bothered by gather round?
Training.
And playing specifically in Adelaide.
Okay.
Because you saw Sydney stop Richmond last year.
We beat Adelaide.
Exactly, right? And so the Tigers, we then learned from that, the Tigers, they might not be any good.
Yeah.
And Sydney might actually have a bit of something. And obviously Sydney had a bit of something.
Yeah. And it was after that week, their injuries just curtailed their middle half of the season.
Yeah. Melbourne looked very wobbly in that bizarre game against the Bombers. And you're like, ooh, what are Melbourne doing in close game?
They got beaten by what, 50 points or something?
Awesome last week.
But yeah, and then they came here last week and won.
Awesome. They did the whole week.
Yeah.
So that's it. So this is last year. So these are the things we...
Freo came from the clouds to beat Gold Coast.
GWS hung on
against Hawthorn.
But that was when Hawks were had a lot.
But at that time, we thought GWS were going to be like bottom 6.
True. Yeah. And the Pies obviously pulled off another ripper against the Saints. So I think
And the Bulldogs got rolled by Port Adelaide in a close one.
because they were frauds.
Yes.
There we go.
No, Port Adelaide won that game.
I know.
The Bulldogs were last year were.
Okay,
His level of comprehension really worries me.
It's been a long day.
Do you feel like, I reckon Alex is definitely the dude where like the teacher in their report card is like, Alex just really needs to concentrate more in class.
Oh, I got that. I definitely got that.
She's just like, look, that dog is a puppy tail. You're a pup.
Teachers honestly thought I cheated on my test because I scored so well because I'd never paid attention. It's like I retain knowledge, just how you teach it's boring.
Right. Anyway, so I think the biggest thing is, so which teams aren't bothered by playing in Adelaide? I think this is crucial for both Carlton and
I was going to say, how are Carlton going to go after last year?
It's more crucial the ones playing away from Adelaide Oval. They're not used to it a bit more.
Or for some of those teams who just travel a lot, like GWS goes to Alice Springs and beats Melbourne.
they play in 12 different stadiums each year.
It doesn't matter.
But teams like the Bombers who had that big win over St Kilda last year, last week, St Kilda the same sort of thing. Like to bounce back, can they do it here is going to be huge.
Should have sent Collingwood to Adelaide Hills for the lols.
And how Geelong take care of like the Dogs, and if they can actually just go, we are legit contenders.
Yeah.
It's literally, I think, a really good litmus test in the season to go, are you contenders or are you? Wait for it. Pretenders. Yeah. Jeez, did you see that one going? That's pretty good. But I think this is fascinating. So Melbourne, Carlton, Freo, just teams like this where you're like, they're good, but how good? You'll learn a lot. Whereas I like, if you've got like a bad team that you're going to be smashing, like, I don't know what we're going to learn about from City.
It's just like
they won by 200. We understand.
We actually thought that would happen.
All right, last little bit then. Supercoach tips, vibes. We're going to be out on the street asking a bunch of these sorts of questions. How are we feeling about this? We're vice captain Gordon tonight, stats guy.
Oh, I think you have to. I think you were filthy last week captaining Petrarca. I think Gordon is a lot more reliable. It's going to kill Riley O'Brien.
I'm going out wide with my vice captain.
Yeah.
She's all off the half back flank.
I actually don't mind that. There's going to be so many Brisbane players.
It's just going to be like ping, 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 ping.
Taking kickouts.
Yep.
We love it, Supercoach. Yeah.
Joe Danaher has 7 behinds. There's another 7 touches for Sheasel. Beautiful.
My captaincy is probably just going to go straight to Tom Green.
I'm Isaac Heaney. Sticking with it again.
And the heat machine's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Bob might be a bit risky.
Well, his ankle.
I don't think he's that bad. He was kicking three goals last week.
Against West Coast.
Yeah.
Trades in, trades out. Sam Darcy's obviously the biggest candidate to trade in.
I've got rid of Sexton for Darcy.
Right, this is the question I was going to ask. Well, who do you get rid of? Because I'm like, I think I might just have to punt Darcy Wilson. I talked this one out in the Supercoach podcast.
Yeah.
He's now got 25, and so Howes has got a 26 in his price cycle, so he's not going to...
And Howes isn't playing.
Howes is already... I think it was...
He got
you know,
the other Hawes, whatever his name is.
Marty Hall.
Yeah, Marty Hall, yeah.
You're a whore, Marty. But this is the point, I think, with those scores in their cycle, like they're not going to gain too much money, so you don't feel too bad if you go, right, punt for Darcy.
I punted Sexton because apparently he's getting dropped, which we'll know in about an hour, yeah.
Interesting.
Apparently 6 changes. Yeah, well, they're going to name 3 debutants and Mac Andrews coming in, so you've got to drop 4 players.
Check out. Wait for the teams, because that's a big thing.
Unfortunately, we've had to do this show.
Everyone has this.
Yeah, well, to get this out in time for Gather Round, we're actually having to do this before teams. So we usually do it right as teams drop, which is in an hour and a half. But
the game starts.
Yeah, we're going to be at the game now, so for this one. But that's it, isn't it?
Yep.
Actually, last before that, do you have to make a trade this week?
I did. Sexton for Darcy.
You have to.
No. But Clements, you got the bye week, which James Jordan will have another.
See, that's one thing I said. This is if you've got James Jordan, have him in for this week. He gets another 70, 80 points, then punt him next week.
I'll get rid of him because he's not going to go much, but I'll keep him just in case he goes big.
We didn't mention Taylor Adams is playing his first game for the Swans. He's very officially... So that I think that hurts Jordan.
I think with the trading stuff, because I've got for the likes of out there, got the Nick Martin, Hayden Young stuff. I've still got Jaden Short in my back line, and he just makes me so angry that I'm rage trading. I'm just like, I'm done.
Even if he gets 130 this week, he could get 60 the next week because his role is changing.
He's killing me. So I think, that flip to, as I talked out on the Supercoach show, I think to Vlosten is probably still where I'm going to land.
Okay.
And I'll feel better about it. Just watch this run backfire as well. If I go Nick Martin, Hayden Young, Jaden Short, I'm just going to just walk into traffic. It's going to be great. Anyway, it's Adelaide traffic. I'm just foot traffic straight through. It's going to be great. Anyway, that's it for AFL Today for today. We might even be back for more stuff tomorrow, though. So keep an eye on the feed because there's a lot of Gather Round gear going on.
A lot of social content.
Exactly. But that's it. That's what we're here in Gather Round for. It's for all the socials. So make sure you're jumping across all the Facey, IG, X, Threads, TikTok, YouTube stuff that'll be flowing out everywhere.
Sports Today show on Facebook.
Yep. It's Sports Today show. So subscribe, star, like, comment, all the good gear across all of your podcast apps, all of your social media, obviously, as well. Get around it. Like, we're going to get around a few bits of footy this weekend. We're going to like 4 games, 5,
maybe 6.
Jeez, footy.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of footy. But again, just footy. Let's go. Get around to like Tony Plugger getting around a pie from the Bungaree petrol station back in 1986.
I think next week he might need to move to Sydney. He's been traded.
No, but I didn't see him do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. We'll catch you later this week for more AFL Today on the socials. Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, cheers, Jim.
Thank you, Stats Boy. Thanks to producer Homie. He's done a great job over there. And remember, gather round, folks, because footy's back.